What's up guys, welcome to AverageDudeTV. Today is the first video in the type 1 diabetes series, and we're going to be talking about how to cut weight while being a type 1 diabetic. Alright guys, so this is the first video in the type 1 diabetes series. And, I just want to start the series off by saying that, I personally have had type 1 diabetes for a little over 1 year now, and it's been a very huge learning curve, of course, but it's important to not let the disease define you and to still live your life as best you can while properly managing the disease. And in today's world, it is totally possible to just live your life as normal while maintaining a healthy type 1 diabetic lifestyle. So this video is about cutting weight, and obviously, being a type 1 diabetic, there are some minor adjustments for cutting weight and some certain strategies that I use. Right now, of course, I'm cutting weight. I'm about 189 pounds right now. I try to lose about 1 pound a week, which means I cut 500 calories per day, 7 days a week, to hit that target. So a key tactic that I use and Matt D uses as well is intermittent fasting. We're gonna do a separate video about that, which will be coming soon. We're gonna have a lot of scientific evidence, cite some studies and stuff like that. But for this video, I'm gonna keep it simple and somewhat informative. So basically, intermittent fasting is the practice of extending the fast that you do overnight when you're asleep, of course. Extend it through when you wake up. So, I woke up at 8 a.m. this morning and I'm fasted right now, and I'll probably will not eat until noon or 1 p.m. Basically how it works is I wake up, usually the first thing I do is chug water, because obviously after a long night of sleep your body is dehydrated. And then after that I have a coffee or pre-workout or something that has caffeine in it. The reason for that is that 1, I'm a very caffeine dependent person, and 2, caffeine suppresses hunger. So chug the water, have a drink with caffeine in it, and then I'll just start my day, get some work done, and then once I start getting a little bit hungry, I'm not like starving or anything, I usually have a second cup of coffee to try to suppress that as well. I've never been a breakfast person for the most part. In high school, I had to get up at 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., and I was never able to eat breakfast. It just always bothered my stomach. So I guess that was kind of like the first time that I started, fasting a little bit. And, I never really ate breakfast until like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. anyway. So, this is really not a big deal, extending my fast a little bit further than that. And usually, depending on the day, I'll fast until 1 to 3 p.m. usually. The whole point of intermittent fasting is so that you can allow more calories in a shorter period of time, which means that you can just eat larger meals. It's a flexible dieting approach, in my opinion. And if you intermittent fast until say 2 p.m., it'll allow you to go out and say, you want to have a 900 calorie steak for dinner, or you want to have a 2,000 calorie meal, or whatever you want to do. It's totally possible with intermittent fasting. With that said, there are adjustments for type 1 diabetics, obviously, when you're talking about not eating for extended periods of time. If you have low blood sugar, you have to eat something. You can't just extend your intermittent fast and be like, oh, I'm gonna wait for my blood sugar to go super low. That's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense, and why would anyone ever do that?
Stupid is a mean word.
If you have low blood sugar, regardless of the time, regardless how many hours into the fast you are, you have to treat it no matter what. And I used to get discouraged when I had to treat a low when I was trying to intermittent fast, especially when it was, still early in the morning, before noon, say. And then what I started doing is just treat the low and then just continue the intermittent fast. Yes, you did eat something, in a lot of people's mind that's ruining the fast, but you have to be flexible as a type 1 diabetic, and the whole point of fasting is to save the calories up for later. If you eat candy or whatever you eat to correct your low blood sugar, and then you want to continue the intermittent fast after that, that's totally okay, because you're still going without eating and you're still saving up all those calories for a massive meal later. So, when I went to the endocrinologist, which is the doctor that manages my type 1 diabetes, she told me that I should eat every 2 to 3 hours. And that's what they tell you. to keep your metabolism up, to make sure that your numbers are stable, and just for safety purposes, and that totally makes sense. But I've been intermittent fasting longer than I had type 1 diabetes. Obviously, I'm in a situation where I'm in 100% control of everything. I wear Dexcom and I get my blood glucose readings in real time, and I'm in 100% control of any situation that I'm in. And I would never, extend an intermittent fast if I was in any danger, if I had low blood sugar, anything like that. And as an added side note, I haven't noticed, any increased or decreased insulin sensitivity as a result of intermittent fasting. So my personal experience is that as long as you keep your eye out for the low blood sugars, there is no downside from this. Obviously, everybody is different. Some people could experience different things, and that's why I urge you to kind of slowly start intermittent fasting, maybe go an extra hour here, then the next day 2 hours, 3 hours, and see how your body reacts to that. And definitely do not put yourself in a dangerous situation. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is treating a low blood sugar and how that impacts cutting. You could be in a situation, right, where it's at night, say, and you've already had your maximum calorie intake, or really just any time during the day, and you need to have some candy or soda or whatever it is to treat your low blood sugar, but you're like, I don't want to waste 50, 100 calories on treating a low blood sugar. And I agree with you. Why should you have to waste any calories treating a low blood sugar? It's just BS. What I do is any candy, anything that I have to do to treat a low blood sugar, I do not count it towards my macros. And you're probably like, Matt, why don't you count towards your macros? That doesn't make sense. You're eating it. I don't do it because, one, if I'm hitting a workout that day, usually you'll burn 200, 300, 400 calories in a workout session. So me eating 50 to 100 calories to treat a low is not a big deal at all, and it makes such a small impact that it's insignificant. And two, I just personally don't think that it would be fair for me to count an extra, 100 out of my 2100 calories that I could have when I'm cutting, so that I could eat candy to take care of a disease that I got randomly. It's not a fair thing to me, and it just doesn't make any sense. Don't even worry about it. Don't put it in MyFitnessPal. None of that. I eat most of my carbs earlier in the day. By earlier in the day, I mean, for my first meal of the day, breaking that intermittent fast. And I do try to not eat a lot of carbs at night, but it usually doesn't go so well. Like, I had Domino's for dinner last night. So obviously, that's not the best thing, but you can't beat yourself up over it too much. But I definitely really strongly try to not have carbs within 3 to 4 hours of me going to sleep. If I'm going to sleep at midnight, try to not have any carbs, after, say, 8, 9 o'clock. That way, by the time you go to sleep, the insulin that you've used has worn off and your blood sugar should be stable throughout the night. The last thing I'm going to mention, just because there's, people have questions about this and there's a lot of talk about this, is going to be fasted cardio. Okay? If you're type 1 diabetic, you cannot do fasted cardio, ever. It's impossible. You can't do it. Cardio drops your blood sugar, and if you're on a fast and you have no glucose to support, your blood sugar dropping, you're gonna have a low, and you're gonna be in a very dangerous situation. So, if you want to do cardio, like fasted cardio, you have to eat like right before you actually go on the treadmill or do whatever exercise you're gonna do. There's no way around it. You can't get on the treadmill and then treat it after. That's a dangerous situation. If you wake up and your blood sugar is 200 and you're like, I'm gonna go on the treadmill to lower it, that's just a stupid idea as well. Will it work? Yeah, but I don't see the point of that. Just get your numbers in range, figure out how many carbs that your body burns when doing, 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. And then right before you actually get on the treadmill, eat an apple or have a graham cracker or whatever that carb snack is to, even out that burn from the exercise. As far as fasted training, by training I mean weight training. If you're doing anything that has to do with cardio, you can't do it fasted. But weight training, you can do fasted. I do fasted. Sometimes I will experience a low blood sugar during the workout. That's fine. I treat it. It is a hassle. But you have to have, candy in your gym bag, of course. Fasted training, once you start actually lifting weights, all your muscles are actually going to release glucose to give you energy for the workout. So that's totally fine to do. And some days I even prefer to do that. That way right after, a nice lift, I have a nice pump and I could actually go out and enjoy a very, very nice high protein meal. And that's pretty much it. That's how I manage cutting weight while being a type 1 diabetic. So hopefully I have a lot of type 1 diabetics watching, a lot of non-type 1 diabetics watching, and I hope that I provided you guys with some good content so that you can incorporate this into your life to really, really, really kick type 1 diabetes ass and enjoy your life a little bit more. So if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe down below. Click that little bell, turn post notifications on. Follow us on Instagram at AverageDudeTV. And get ready for the next video in the type 1 diabetic series. Not sure what it is yet, but it should be good. If you have any ideas for videos in this series, just any videos at all, you have questions, please just leave them in the comment section below and we get back to every single person. Have a good one, guys, and ADTV Nation, we'll see you in the next one.